place I've ever been.
Hello guys, welcome back to another lovely trading recap. Today is May 3rd, the first trading day of May, and we are now back to having daily trades and recaps, because obviously I had about 2 weeks off of inconsistent posting, just because I was just trying to adjust my strategy to work in this slower market, and think I've now got a strategy that works quite well, so should be able to continue to trade every day from now on. So we'll go through all these trades. It is only lunchtime, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any more trades today. If I do, I'll post them on Instagram, so check there if you are interested if I took any more, but most likely won't. But we're up right now $281, or just under 1% on our account, and as you can see, the account's back down to 30 grand. Kind of just took out the money and just going to start again and kind of just see how it works in this slow market, because obviously I haven't had time to backtest this forever because we've only just started the slow market. So firstly, on our biggest trade, I'll just go from biggest to smallest win, and our biggest one being SSY. We shorted at our deviation resistance and $0.50, so that was quite nice. It did look weak because obviously we had a $0.50 resistance and also a standard deviation. Broke through a bit by around 18 cents and then failed down. So obviously didn't have the need to add into any of this move. Would have waited until we had like a divergence or came into this higher deviation for me to be able to short a larger size. So it just meant we were in with 500 shares, shorted at 45 and then 49, just to make sure if it did reverse a bit earlier than the $0.50, we would get in at least some size. So in with 500 shares, locked them in as we came into VWAP. Due to my testing, I found again that 90% of the time it would at least retrace to the VWAP. So if I look in here, 90% of the time I can lock in profits of VWAP, and it's usually a good enough move, and it allowed us to make $85 in this case. Next one is AMS. Reason this one's actually big is because we traded this twice. So you can see here we've actually got quite a few resistances on here, and the ones we will go over right now, I don't think I can trade it anymore. I think I actually tried to trade this deviation, but I couldn't short it. Oh, it is now shortable, so oh no, 1k short available. So yeah, I won't be shorting that just because I'll probably get stuck in it and I won't be able to average if needs be. So the first short was at 295. Shorted and locked them in at around 285 on the VWAP. So where is it? AMS. Yeah, you can see there, exactly that, and that made us $35 on the original trade. Then we traded it again and shorted at this $3.15, and locked in profits originally down at $3.03, I believe, yep. And then locked in the rest at 305. Reason for this, it kind of consolidated around here, but there was actually quite a lot of buying pressure coming on the time of sales, so I didn't know if we would push into a newer high. I already locked in some profits, so I didn't want to add average into a trade I've already locked in profits with, so kind of just locked it in with the 305. It meant if it went up, you know, I minimized or increased our winning size, and if it went down, I just meant I didn't get as much profit, but it's part of trading and I felt comfortable getting out there, so that's what I did. Next trade is on OCGN. Did I not mark OCGN? Haven't actually got a marked entry, I don't think. So let's see where we did this. So we shorted at 14. Oh, no, this will be why we're on the wrong day. Makes sense. So you can see here, this was right at the beginning of the day. We had a deviation resistance here. So you can see here, our second deviation was actually at this point here. It's now moved up a bit, but that's where it was. And obviously then we have that $15 whole dollar resistance. So it looked like a good reverse area. Shorted in this candle here. It did pull back a bit by around 40 cents or 30 cents. Wasn't enough for what I was looking for. I mean, we didn't even tap the 9 EMA, so kind of just held through this kind of consolidating area. Did I actually lock in some profits coming into this area, just so if it did reverse, I could average in, and I wasn't in with as big size as normal, so it's just a way to kind of lock in some profits. That was actually the majority of our size because it was again showing buying power. As I sold that, so if it did break through to another high, I did only want small size, so I could average into the position. Did end up getting a nice snap candle here though, and it broke down, and it looked in both for our profit targets, which was on the 20 EMA and then on the VWAP slash 50. So that was quite a nice trade, and then again it did come and test this multiple times kind of throughout the day, and it's kind of been consolidated around here. Now it's broken through, and if we can get up to this 1740 area while I'm at the computer, I will definitely trade that. So next one will be NTP. This one was this, oh yeah, so this wasn't a natural deviation, but you can see we've tested this area 2 times, and this will be the 3rd test in the last few weeks. So there was kind of heavy resistance just around like this 1440 area and to the all-time high. So I was just, if it came up to roughly the all-time high, I was just looking to short it. And that's what it ended up doing. Because it wasn't on a proper resistance or deviation, I wasn't looking for a massive profit margin or large size. So that's why we traded it only with 100 shares, but we did get a nice, 30 or so cent move out of it. So it ended up being quite a nice move at the end of it. And we looked in here, obviously it did end up going down another 20 or so cents. But we were coming into this 50. I know, as I said, I should probably hold into the VWAP, but as I wasn't trading off a proper resistance level like a standard deviation, or it wasn't even a hard resistance level here, it was just like a rough area, I was just, to be safe, kind of locking profits here. And I think at that time it pushed us over $200 on the day, so that was quite nice. Next we have FBIO. This, yeah, cool, I have it marked in. Again, you'll notice as well, if I have these golden resistance lines, this is because before in my old strategy I didn't trade first deviations. However, now as I've adjusted my strategy for a slower market, I can kind of now trade these first deviation bands. So I kind of just have them in golden lines, so when I take my screenshots for my own benefit, I can quickly see if it was a first deviation trade, because then I can kind of calculate the accuracy of these first deviation trades when I'm doing them. But either way, they're both at the same level, both roughly at the same price, so it was showing me that they could have a good chance of reversing at this point. And if it comes up to any of these deviation bands, they seem to be quite similar in price, so these should be all quite strong. As you can see from a few days ago, FBI came quite strong into the 3rd deviation there. I think I couldn't trade it then. I think it was short restricted, or not short restricted, but just couldn't get short locates. But yeah, so we got quite near enough made a perfect move on this. So we shorted near enough at the top of this move. It went up by 1 extra cent, then fell down. We looked in some at 20 just to reduce our risk. Then we could have a stop loss at break even. Again, on these first deviation trades, I'm trying to lock in profits a bit earlier than I would on usual 2nd or 3rd deviation trades, just because again these on a statistical basis only are accurate, or is only has to stay inside these bands. I believe it's 68% of the time, so locking the profits quicker, so it doesn't turn into a red trade. That's what I did here. Ended up getting a tiny bounce off here, and then respected the 9 EMA down, and I looked in the rest coming at 463. Don't actually remember at the time why it was 463 was my number, but VWAP was around 460. And there was probably maybe like a deviation band, because he might have been moved. Maybe it was this half deviation band was at 63, so just locked it in a few cents earlier just to make sure we get that fill. And then that ended up working well. We didn't retrade this. It did actually retest this deviation. Would have been a nice trade. I didn't actually see it at the time though. And then it is now kind of just fading out. And then we got one last trade, which is on plug PLUG. As you can kind of see, it's been downtrending most of this day. It popped up on my low risk bounce scanner, so as soon as it came into this level, I could see here obviously the kind of momentum down has kind of slowed down. It's now chilling out around here, and then you can see my entry was here. We were roughly around this green deviation here, so the 3rd deviation, while we were also in a divergence. So I was like, okay, cool, this seems very low risk to enter here. Again, we didn't use massive size. I think we did 100 shares. 100 shares, and kind of just entered here at 83 cents. That was the original low. If it broke through, I was happy to hold through until around like 26.45, and didn't break down anywhere near that level, so that was fine. And then I kind of just locked in profits as we came up to the 50. The reason I looked in here is I believe this is where the 2nd deviation was, because I didn't know if we would hit this deviation, and try and test down one more time. It did end up breaking through a bit, and then testing the 50 EMA, and then testing a new low. Again, didn't break that new low, and now we kind of just consolidating around this area. But we basically did get this bottom of this move. We only missed it by about 12 cents, so I'm quite happy with that trade. And that's it for the trades today. None of them were really too massive of a winner. Smaller size today because I haven't been doing consistent trading lately, or like consistently trading every day, sorry. So just wanted to reduce risk than normal. You'll see a lot of these were 300 share sizes instead of my original 500, and ones where I'm taking like 100 or 200. Usually the ones I'm doing are about 300 shares. So it would have been a much bigger day if I traded my normal share size, but we do have a bit smaller of an account now. And again, me trading for the whole day, which I haven't done in a while, just want to get back into the swing of things. So you'll probably see that probably tomorrow and maybe even Wednesday that the size I'm doing may be a bit smaller than usual. But that's it for the recap. Hope you like it. If you're excited to see these daily recaps again, definitely let me know in the comments, and show your support by liking and subscribing. That's it. Peace.